Oh. Now I have to clean it up and I lose out on sealant. Oh. We got some new tires, Michelin 2.8s. This one's the front, e-bike front. I don't know what the difference is between e-bike tires and regular tires. They look exactly the same to me. Maybe it's a marketing thing, or maybe one of you guys could tell me what they do different in the tires. But I don't see it as a bad thing adding e-bike tires to a hardtail. If anything, I'm assuming the e-bike tires are a little bit more robust, a little thicker to handle the weight of an e-bike. So it's not a bad thing to put it on a hardtail. But yeah, I wanted to try 2.8s. This is the rear, 27.5 by 2.8 hard pack mixed. So this one's gonna go on the back. This one's gonna go in the front. In the past, I used to run Michelin Wild Am tires in 2.6 on this bike. I wanted to go a little thicker to 2.8 just to see what it's about, see how it is. These tires have lasted me a long time, to be honest with you. I have just been neglecting this bike and not really staying on top of the maintenance of swapping the tires. I normally don't like to wear gloves when I work on a bike because they always rip, but I got these for free, so I might as well use them. Otherwise, they're just gonna sit on my toolbox. I do like gloves though, I just hate the fact that they rip. Maybe I should look into some thicker gloves, I don't know. Let's open these up. The packaging to the rear tire is pretty much identical to the other tires I used to run. So this is what I used to run in the past. This is Michelin Wild Am 2, 27.5 by 2.6. I really like these for my full suspension. I don't feel like I need to go up in size for the full suspension. 2.6 is perfect. So that's why I have this tire on hand. And I'll probably continue to run these tires on my full suspension. And depending how I like the 2.8s, I might switch and make the 2.8s the tire I run on the hardtail. This one says mixed / soft terrain grip, hard pack mixed terrain. I won't really know the difference until I take it out on a ride. I do need to do some more maintenance to my bikes. I actually need to service both forks. I have all the oil, I have all the seals here, you know, in my toolbox. I just haven't gotten around to it. What I think I might do is this week take care of the tires on this bike, get it dialed, feeling good, and then next weekend I'm gonna work on my full suspension, and I'll still have the hardtail to session, so that way I'm not left without a bike, but I'll split it up between the weekends. Need a 6. Tire level. I'm gonna true my wheels too while I'm at it. I need to organize this area better, man. Ever since I started the new job, I haven't needed to use my construction tools. Like, they're all just piled up here in the corner. And that's because the company I'm at now provides us with like a van, all the tools. So I haven't needed my own personal tools. So I just gotta figure out a way to better organize them. But I don't want to sell them or get rid of them because, you know, I still help out my family. I still help out around this house fixing anything that needs to be fixed, so definitely don't want to get rid of them. I just gotta better organize them. Oh man, this thing was done. The rim looks solid though. I've beat these up like there's no tomorrow, and they've still been performing so well for me. There's a few dents here and there, but you know, we're making it work. I don't think it's loose, but I like to check. Yeah, that's solid. I hear something in the rim, but I just checked all the spokes and they're good. All right, that's crazy. I went through the whole wheel and every spoke is pretty solid. Like, they're all nice and tight, but there's something in there. And I'm too lazy to check it out, because in order for me to see what's in there, I'd have to remove the rim tape and pop it out at one of the openings. But I'm not gonna do that. You can't even hear it when you're riding. So we should be good. I'm happy with that. I think that's as good as we're gonna get it. It has a slight hop, but I think that's just because the rim's slightly bent. I'm not gonna notice it. I'm happy with that. Everything's solid, so we're gonna get to the front now. Oh. If I'm being honest with you guys, I'm not mad about how long these tires have lasted me. I think for what they do and how much abuse they take, that's a pretty good run for the tire. This is the old rear tire. The sealant was super dry in there, but this is the slash that gave me the flat on the last ride. We'll go on with cream from Trucker Co. I always use this bottle as my measuring cup. 250 milliliters, 8.45 ounces. I put one of these in each tire. I always remind myself to cap this because I have left it open and tipped it over, and ever since that moment I've learned to remind myself to close it. We got it on. It took me some finessing. I needed the truing stand to make it work, and then I put like a bungee on a side of the rim to hold the tire. But yeah, this is probably one of the trickiest tires I've had to put on a bike. I'm gonna put sealant through the valve because it would have been too much of a hassle to like drip it in with the tire open and then try to put it in. So what I was messing up on the first tire was I was trying to put both sides of the tire into the rim. I realized what's easier is putting one side in first, making sure it's in there, and then you put on the other side. I might not need the truing stand for this one. They are both on and ready to go. I just gotta put sealant and get them inflated. I'm not gonna lie, this rear tire does feel super thick. Like, in comparison to the Wild Am and this front tire, this is a really rugged tire, and it makes sense, you know, because from the packaging that I saw, this tire is designed for like hard packed mixed terrain versus the Wild Am, it's more for like softer terrain. But I will admit that the Wild Ams do feel nice and squishy and gummy, and it's like that extra layer of suspension. So I'm curious to see how these feel. And I know they're a lot thicker, they're a lot more durable, but they probably won't be as like squishy and soft as the Wild Ams. So that's one downside I can see happening, but on the plus side, since they are more durable and thicker, they'll probably last me a lot longer. So pros and cons, but I don't know yet. You know, I still have to test these tires, give them a go, and then I'll be able to really give you guys an idea of how it felt compared to the two. I think this is where the gloves would have came in handy. I should have counted how many that was, how many syringes, cause I could just take the sealant out of this with the syringe and I'll be good instead of pouring it. But I normally don't do the syringe, but I'll keep track on this next one, so that way I know in the future I don't have to do double the work. I hate myself. I went to the kitchen to go get some water, and I had left the garage door open. My dog decided to come in, and I didn't have this capped off. No, and she spilled everything, dude. That was a full container of sealant, and I just told myself, I was like, I gotta cap this one because I've spilled it. Now I gotta learn. I'm not even gonna use that anymore. I just gotta learn to use this, cap this, call it a day. That really sucks, man. Now I have to clean it up and I lose out on sealant. Alright, that's as good as it will get. Tire sealant is so messy. It sticks to everything. Oh, I'm so done with this, man. I don't want these tires anymore, man. It's so slippery, it's so sticky. I gotta mop my floor after this. Let's do the rear first. Fingers crossed we get this first go. No first go. It's alright. I usually have to leave the garage when this thing is running because it's too loud. So once I hear it stop, I come back in. But we're gonna try the front tire instead this time. Hopefully we have better luck with this one. Cool. Got that one going. Let's give this another go. I'm at a point where I'm banking on buying a new rim. That's, I think, gonna be the solution to this whole thing. I'm defeated, guys. Dude, but I think I can do this. That's the crazy part. Like, oh. The sweet sound of victory, my friends. Dude, I knew I could do it, but I don't know if it'll work. Let me get this thing up and running, and then I'll explain to you guys what I mean. Dude, I'm liking this size though. This 2.8 is freaking beefy. All right, but let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So this is where I hit my rim, and it's slightly cracked. Right there where you see the sealant, that's where it's slightly cracked. And I think a bit of air is coming out of there. That's why you see this excess sealant coming out. But it's not bubbling up, it's not hissing. So I think I'll be okay, but I definitely have to get this rim swapped out. But right off the bat, I can tell you guys that this rear tire is way heavier than the Wild Ams. Like, it's crazy how much weight it adds. I would say a good like 2 to 3 pounds of a difference than these Wild Ams. And it kind of goes back to what I was explaining earlier. This is a thicker, more durable tire. This is a lighter and like thinner tire. But I'm sure this one's gonna last a lot longer than this one. And we have it. With these new tires, I can tell you that the weight of it has increased. I don't know by how much because I never really weighed my bike with my old tires, but I got something to weigh it with this time, so I'm gonna give you guys a number and we'll both know exactly how much this thing weighs. I'm gonna just try to hold it. I'm not gonna put any pressure with my left hand. See if that helps. All right, there we go. I'm reading 34 pounds and it's completely off the ground. And that's without my water bottle filled. I'm sure that adds like another pound. But the reason I went with these tires is because they're bigger. They're 2.8 versus 2.6. If they sold Wild Ams in 2.8, I probably would have tried those. But these are the only ones I could find from Michelin that come in 2.8. And who knows, maybe when I break these tires in, they'll start to feel squishy like the Wild Ams, and the squishiness combined with the bigger tire size might feel good. That's what I'm banking on. I'm also excited to see how long they last me. I have a feeling they're gonna give me a longer run time than the previous tires. There have been some people asking me about whether or not I put tire inserts, and to be honest, I've never ran them, but I've never felt the need to run them. I think what happened this last time was just me neglecting my bike. I knew I needed new tires, you know, and I just got lazy and I took a gamble and I lost. I think if I would have swapped out my tires at a reasonable time, I wouldn't have dented my rim. I wouldn't have gotten a flat. So this is my lesson that I'm learning, is like, just take care of your bike and it'll take care of you. Now, I'm not saying tire inserts aren't, you know, useful. I think if you're a bigger person and you need that extra cushion, it'll help, yeah. But for me, from what I've heard, is like installing them is a pain, and they're pretty pricey. I think for one tire insert I saw from Cushcore is like $80 after tax. And that to me is just too expensive. I'd rather just buy a brand new tire. You know, it's less things I have to worry about when installing my tires. But those are the two main reasons why I don't run inserts. It's one, the price, and two, I just don't want to be dealing with it during the install. I'm kind of bummed out about the rim. I think I'm gonna run it like this until I can't run it. But I do want to look for a new rear wheel. I don't feel that comfortable running it with like a cracked rim, but it's all I got, you know, and I'm not gonna not ride it. I mean, I do have the full suspension, I could ride that, but I'm just too curious, you know, to see how these tires pan out. But I'm happy I got this out of the way. It's been raining here in Southern California, so I haven't been able to ride because all the trails are kind of wet and muddy. But as soon as it starts to clear up, we're gonna take this thing out on a rip. That is gonna wrap up this tire install. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you on the next one.